Bartkus here. I am thrilled to be here with you for another episode of our Childcare Business Success Show. And if you're here, feel free to say hello. We're waiting for a couple of our guests to get their technical difficulties resolved. And hopefully very soon, my guest, my friend Felicia Slattery will be on with us. If not, hang tight. And if you are here, say hello. It helps me know that you can hear me okay. And I look forward to just a really incredible show with you this evening. So tonight's topic is all about faith and what it takes to have greater faith to make your vision come into fruition. So that's what we're going to be talking about. And for those of you who know me, you know that one of the things that we hang on a second, my staff is messaging me, so I'm not sure if you guys are able to hear me or see me. Oh, okay, we're good. Okay. It's like live TV here, so okay. All right. So yeah, technical difficulties. I'm breathing. Hey, who's here tonight? So Loretta, you think you got your mic going? She thinks she's set. Okay. So we're waiting for one of my friends to join us, but of course that's not going to delay us. We've got prizes. We've got exciting things to do tonight. So I am absolutely thrilled to be here with you doing another episode of the Childcare Business Success Show. And instead of delaying our start time because of technical difficulties, I thought I would hop on and just get the party started. So when it comes to bringing your vision to life, we've got a couple of options. And one is to manage our childcare programs by fear and by stress and by all the different things that unfold throughout the day. Or we can manage our childcare programs by this thing called faith. And faith fuels the vision. Faith makes the vision grow, and faith becomes this powerful force to be reckoned with. So tonight, if you have comments about faith in terms of how you use it in your childcare program, make sure you chime in, make sure you tune in. Oh, I just see Felicia has joined us in the lobby. Awesome. Yay. Now she's upside down now. So you can't see what's going on. Sometimes we'll have to do a behind the scenes here at the show so you can see what's going on. But hey, Nikki, nice to see you here. And of course, we're doing prizes tonight. So anyways, when it comes to the vision, it's all about having a greater amount of faith so that we can really step into it and bring it to life. But a lot of times there's things going on that we cannot see with our eyes. So we become discouraged and we think our vision isn't coming to life. And then sometimes we give up our vision, and sometimes the vision crumbles, and sometimes we let somebody else's vision become our vision. So if you could relate to any of those things, give me an oh yeah, Julie, because that's what we're talking about tonight, is faith and how to bring your vision to life through faith. Now, whether you're spiritual or religious, it really doesn't matter, because faith is always at work. Like the law of attraction. It's always there. It's always guiding us. It's always working in the background. And I know when I surveyed many of our members, and I know from the clients who I attract, most people are very heavily faith-based. And if not having a faith-based childcare program, they incorporate faith into their lives, into their businesses in some way. So I'm just scrolling down here so I could see comments. All right. So we're going to talk. I'm just going to type this in here. We're talking about faith. I think I got a capital F-A. All right. So tonight's all about faith and how you incorporate faith into your business. And I'm going to bring Loretta up into our lobby just to say hello. And we're going to talk about some of our prizes that we have. And, we're going to talk to Loretta a little bit about her faith, and then we'll have her come back to later on to just share with us some of her thoughts after Felicia and I get the opportunity to chat for a little bit. So it's all about faith. All right, Loretta, I'm going to bring you on up. And I'm using my laptop tonight, hopefully to get some better quality. But hey, Loretta.
Hello, can you hear me now?
I still can't hear you. Oh, no. I know. Thought we had that fixed.
Me too.
Unless everybody understands sign language. You can hear me? Oh, she can see her. Okay. So Felicia can see, but we can't see.
Hear.
You can hear me. You can hear Loretta? You can hear Loretta. I just can't hear Loretta.
Just you.
Okay. So hang on. Felicia is sign languaging to me, which she's very good at.
Good work.
All right, so I'm sorry, hang on a second here, everybody. It's probably me then. Thanks, Felicia, for letting me know. Wait, I have to put on the glasses. Let me see where this is what happens when I switch my technology up last minute. Hang on, everyone.
It's all right. I've tried 2 computers. This is all good.
Bear with me. Loretta, if you want to say anything to entertain everybody, you can. You can just keep talking until I can hear you.
Sure.
How's that?
Well, everyone, I'm excited.
All right, so everybody bear with me. Loretta may be talking with me here.
I have been enjoying a family reunion, and it has been a faith-filled family reunion. So this is going to be a very timely topic, as Julie always has. And I'm excited to hear what Felicia has to say because, I hear myself. Are you hearing me now too?
I am hearing you, yes.
Yay!
I think I have to get some earplugs someday, though, because I think that's what I'm supposed to be doing here. Okay. Can I still hear you?
I don't know. I was just saying how excited I am because you always have such timely topics, and I can't wait to hear what everyone is going to share tonight.
Okay, so now I can hear you. Can you still hear yourself when you talk, or are we good?
No, you're good. I do not
Okay,
hear
so I've
myself.
got you on very low on my computer, but I do think I need to get some earplugs so that I don't have that double feedback. Felicia's going to tell me how to do it right. All right. All right, cool. Thanks everybody for sticking with me. Like I said, I switched my platform to my laptop so that we could have some better quality, but then there's all these little things that hop up. So last week we had some issues come up too, and it's a work in progress, right? So we are thinking about moving the show time to Thursdays. I know which Loretta may not be able to be here, and several of you might not be able to be here, but there's a couple things we could do. We could either move the show to be later in the evening, or we could keep it the same, or we can move it. A popular time frame was Thursdays at noon Central Standard Time. It was 11 Central Standard Time, noon Eastern. So if you have a preference and you're tuning in, let me know that you do have a preference. Let us know what that is. And we've got some prizes that we're going to be giving away. And what should we do tonight, Loretta? Brownies?
Always brownies. Is there ever a question when chocolate is involved?
Right. So tonight we'll be doing brownies. And what we'll do is for the most engaged person of the evening, Loretta will come back before we wrap up tonight and let us know who our brownie winners are. Well, winner. I always want to give away so many brownies, but we'll give away one brownies.
one
Yeah. So
okay.
Loretta will let us know who our brownie winner is. And all you have to do is be the most engaged this evening. We'd also love for you to share this show on all the groups that you are part of. Your directors groups, your page. Let people know this is happening, because there's a lot of people who don't yet know that this show is going on, and we'd love to be able to reach them. And if they come here and write your name in the comments, that's going to count towards the brownie prize. And then we also have a prize for most engaged participant from our Childcare Business Success group for this week. Loretta, you remember what that is?
It's a video, like a free advertising. You can make it whatever you want, and I so wish I qualified because it's awesome.
Well, I just might do one for you anyways.
Oh, well, I wouldn't say no.
Right. So for the most engaged person from the week, and I know Jana and Loretta will be putting their heads together before our show wraps up tonight to let us know who our next winner is. I think Nikki won the prize last week. And yes, you can absolutely win multiple times. And the cool thing is, with this video marketing that we're giving away, or this marketing video that we're giving away, you can use it for whatever you want. It could be for happy birthday wishes for your staff, for enroll now in your childcare program, open house, whatever it is. And we'll post a sample in the group. And if you're not yet a group member, make sure you Google, or we'll have Jana put in the link and to get you over to the group. Sound good, Jana? So she'll give you that link. So if you're not yet part of the group, Jana will direct you over there in the comments. And if there's any comments I need to see, Loretta, later on, I'll be asking you as well. Everything's like so much smaller on my laptop. I liked working on my big desktop, but I didn't think things were going as smoothly over there. Okay. So yes, she's making, hey, Amy, nice to see you here. You like Monday evening? Okay, so there's Amy with us. I'm glad you're here. And Amy was one of the owners who was at my house for our owners retreat back a couple weeks ago. Karen Cotter, anytime works. Okay, all right. So we've got some cool prizes, brownies and a marketing video. And then Loretta, also, tune into the video. I know you'll be in the lobby listening to Felicia and I talking about faith. And Felicia has written several books, including this one. And I know she's got a copy in her hand too. But this is called Daily Business Meetings with God. And I think this is really a cool book because it really puts things in perspective in terms of where does faith come into play when it comes to managing your childcare program or managing your life. And we'll get into talking about this. And then Loretta will have you come on and join us and share some comments and share some things from the lobby that maybe I have missed. And we'll go from there. How's that sound?
Sounds good.
All right, I'm going to put you back down. And Loretta's going to be on the lookout along with Jana for our prize winners for this evening. So make sure that you are engaged and join our group. Jana's posting the link, and then tell all your friends about the Childcare Business Success Show. All right, Loretta, we will see you back in a bit.
Okay.
Okay. All right, whew. I'm glad I got that microphone situation or the speakers settled. All right, who's tuning in tonight? Who's here? Say hello. Let me know where you're tuning in from. And I'd love to see your names come up, and I'd love to put them up on the screen. But I'm going to bring Felicia up very soon. And like I said, when it comes to bringing your vision to life, a lot of times that vision gets crumbled by fear. That vision gets crumbled by stress. That vision gets crumbled by other people imposing their ideas and strategies or whatever they want us to do on top of us. So it's really important that we come back and really grow and expand our vision from a place of faith. And I'm going to welcome up into our area here, Felicia. I'm going to move her up from the lobby. And we're going to talk about faith. Felicia, hello.
Hello. Can you hear me okay?
I can hear you okay. Are you hearing an echoing or anything?
Good. Just a little. That's okay. I'm good.
Okay, you're good. Okay, because otherwise I could lower it down a little bit more, but I'm like, I switched to my laptop. So, it's like, all right, I forgot all these little things I needed to do. And earplugs is one of them. So I could hear that way. Yeah, so that's really important. So Felicia is not a novice at this by any means. She has been a speaker in, let me see from the back of her book, I was reading this, in 22 countries. She's written at least, 3 books?
4.
4 books. And I'll tell you how I know Felicia is that our paths crossed through Chicagoland Sharpest Entrepreneurs, which was a mastermind group that we were both part of until Felicia had decided to uproot her family and move to Tennessee, which is a place I'm considering moving to in the future sometime. But she made that bold move, and she continues to expand her vision and bring it to life. And one of her most recent, this is your most recent book, right, Felicia?
Yes, the Daily Business Meeting with God.
This is her most recent book, and I was talking to our owners in my mastermind, our child care program of excellence master or mentorship, I should say, and they're like, wow, that sounds like a fascinating concept to start every day in a business meeting with God. Mm-hmm. So tell me, what inspired you to put this book together?
Well, about a year ago, I was, last fall it was, so not even quite a year, I was on Facebook, and I have been blessed to be a guest on a number of different podcasts. And one of the podcasts that I had been on was called The Kingdom Driven Entrepreneur. And the person who hosts that, her name is Shay Bynes, and she had just written a book called Grace Over Grind. And she was talking about the book, and she was looking for advanced readers. And so I volunteered to be an advanced reader. And when I read the book, and I'm a person of faith. I'm a person who's never been shy about my faith at all, anywhere on social media and in my business. But in her book, she said you should actually invite God to be your business partner. The way you would have a physical business partner, God should be your business partner with what you're doing every day. And that just blew my mind. I don't know why. I was like, what? I don't know how it never occurred to me. So one of the things she suggested is that, as you would with any other business partner, you should have a daily business meeting so you can check in, see where things are, what's going on. Again, just like you would with any business partner. I love the idea. And so I called her. I said, love the book. I'm happy to endorse it. By the way, do you have an agenda for this daily business meeting with God? And she said, no, I don't have an agenda. And I said, but I need to be told what to do. And she said, I just pray and do whatever, you feel like you want to do. And I was like, well, all right. So I sat down with my plain old notebook and a pen, and I was like, well, meeting is in session, God. What do you want to talk about? I mean, I was so just like lost. And at the time, I had been doing, not very regularly, but occasionally I was doing something that called morning pages, which is something that happens up. It's been talked about in the author community. I'm not art author. I meant to say artist community, about being creative and helping you just kind of do 3 pages of just kind of a brain dump every single morning within 30 minutes of waking up. And I thought, all right, I could do that. So I was doing that, and I was praying through that process. And then when I was introduced to the concept of inviting God as my business partner, I said, well, I'm going to give that a go. And so I was kind of using a hybrid of, I'm going to have a business meeting, but I don't know exactly what to do. And I'm just kind of writing in my notebook. And then by about day 3, I had this experience where I was sitting with my notebook and my pen just kind of started to write. And it was step 1, do this, step 2, do that. And it came out pretty much word for word the way it appears in the book. And it was the agenda for the daily business meeting. I was like, wow, thanks. And so I said, all right. So then I just started following that. And another 3 or 4 days passed of doing that every day. And I very clearly felt called in my spirit, turn this into a journal. And I was like, what? I don't do journals. I write books. Like, no, I'm not doing that. And then the next day, turn this into a journal. And then the next day, turn this into a journal. And I was like, well, if this is not an exercise in surrendering my life and my business and doing what God wants me to do for the world, I don't know what is. So fine, I'll write your dumb journal. I was already working on another book at the time. So when I finally submitted and said, all right, I'll write the journal. I'll turn this into that. I actually did everything on this myself. Now, I've been in business since 2006. I have a team of people that I outsource things to on a regular basis. But this one, I felt like, you know what, this is different than my usual communication and public speaking kinds of stuff that I publish and put out into the world. So I'm going to do this one myself. And so I found the picture of myself that's on the cover. I didn't design the cover, but I did find, I love that sunrise picture there. And I did everything. I laid out the interior. I wrote all the words. I mean, like all of the little pieces. And that was done in 6 days. So when God wants you to do something, he just makes it happen. I'm just saying. So that's what inspired me to do it.
Wow, and that was like a divine download in the first place to say, hey, put this together and do this. And one thing that I absolutely adore about Felicia, and everybody should know, is that she is just like this gigantic ball of energy. And she is an implementer and an action taker, and it's like do, 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 do. So it seems to me that you've always had the guidance to follow. So why was it so important? And I know you got the guidance to do this, but why did it seem so important to give yourself a structure to have these meetings and then to share that with the world?
Because to me, and I mean, everybody and your people know, I mean, when we deal with children, we need to have a structure and a strategy. Kids like to know we're going to do this first, and then we're going to do this second, and then we're going to do this third. Well, that doesn't stop just because we grow up and aren't kids anymore. People really thrive when they have some kind of structure. And even people who are entrepreneurial in nature and are running our own businesses, maybe not any 2 days look exactly alike, but we do have things that we do on a consistent basis. And the more consistent that we can be with most parts of our business, again, given, the up and down nature and the put this fire out now kind of, thing that we deal with as entrepreneurs, the more consistency that we can get and the more structure we can get, the more successful we will be in the long run. And so that's why I didn't want to just be like, well, I'm praying now and I'll just write whatever comes to mind. I wanted to really know, like, well, what should the structure be? And, I very clearly got that divine download, as you said, that was like, this is what I want you to do in our meetings. And it's similar, I think, to what, to what other people might have been doing on their own, or, it starts with gratitude and then it goes to building a to-do list. And I mean, it's not like this vastly, oh my gosh, I've never heard of doing anything like this kind of thing, but it's in the context of making God your business partner. And I really believe that this is the structure that God wants you to follow for your work, including one of the steps in there is to figure out how much money did you make, and then taking 10% of that and setting it aside as your tithe, as your offering, as part of what you do with your business, with your work every day. Give God what belongs to God, and you get to keep the rest. And since I've been doing that, I am telling you, my business has been blessed beyond measure. It's
Since you've been
amazing.
tithing?
Tithing and following this daily business meeting with God, both. Yes.
Yeah. Well, that's awesome. And I was recently listening, and I told my owners about the book, The Dynamic or The Four Spiritual Laws of Prosperity. And Edwin Gaines talks about her life being totally transformed by the concept of tithing. So it's really cool to hear you saying that as well, that since you've been doing it, your life has just totally changed. And one thing that I love, since we're talking about faith, is that tithing is really showing God, like letting God prove himself in your life, because you're taking a leap of faith to say it's okay to give away 10% because I have faith that more is just going to flow in.
Yep.
So a lot of times we're so tightly closed, and we did this activity. I didn't bring my jar down, but we had money jars here at my home just to show about how the flow can come into those jars. But when we got the lid on the jar, it's so hard for money to flow into our lives, but tithing to me is just the way to take that lid off the jar and say, okay, I have total faith and total trust that more is going to be coming in. Is that how you would define it, or do you see it in any different way?
I think that's an amazing metaphor. I read the book called The Blessed Life by Pastor Robert Morris, and that's really kind of what opened my eyes to the depth of understanding that I know now about tithing. And so I would recommend that book as well. But it's exactly that. I mean, the idea is like, of course, God doesn't need your 10%. God, right? God does not need your money.
Right.
What is happening when you tithe back 10% is it's you saying, I recognize that everything I have is a gift from you. You have asked for me to be faithful to you by offering this back and giving it to my local church. And so I will do that, knowing that you will, and in different places in the Bible, it says different things, but, it will come back to me tenfold. And golly gee, if it hasn't done that, I'm just saying. I mean, it's incredible. So really, really good. Yeah, faith. It's all about an exercise in faith.
Awesome. And I understand that, speaking of giving and being generous at heart, that Felicia might have maybe a signed copy of a book that you're willing to give away tonight?
Happy to do that. Yeah, I'll be sending it to whoever it is you guys pick as a winner, and I'll be happy to send that out.
Okay, cool. So are we giving one?
We can do one. We'll do one today.
Okay, so we are going to give one of Felicia's books away, and she's got some other ones we'll talk about hopefully before the interview wraps up. But if you're interested in winning a signed copy of Daily Business Meeting with God, I don't know. How should we award this prize? What do you think, Loretta? Maybe by the person who posts the most ahas from what they're getting from the interview. So keep track of the golden nuggets that you're getting, and if you put them in the comments, you will be the one who gets awarded. So how does that sound, Loretta? Thumbs up? Good? Yeah? Okay, perfect.
And we should
right, so the person with the most
it's
ahas is going to be the winner of the book, because they will probably be the one to cherish it the most. So,
and we should probably mention it's a guided journal is really what it is. So it's a lot of blank pages. The agenda is in the front, and actually Shay Bynes, who was the person who inspired the book for me, I actually called her before I published this, and I said, "Listen, I want to make sure we're going to be good with this. I just had this, had this experience, I had this divine download, and I really feel called to publish this. But if you think that this is stepping on your toes in any way, if you're planning to do something like this later on, like I am so not committed to doing this. If you want me to not do it." And she was like, "What? God works the way he works. And if you feel called that this is part of what he wants you to do, I am honored to be the one who inspired it through the book." And I was like, "Fantastic. Would you write the forward?" And she goes, journals don't have forwards. And I was like, well, mine will if you write it. And so she was like, okay, I'll write a forward. So there's a little, it's just one side of one page. So it's not real long. But just, so a little forward, little introduction with how this all came about. And then the agenda. And then there's 2 sections in the journal. The beginning is the daily business meeting part. And there with the different pieces, there's a part in there for your gratitude and a part for your to-do list. And your to-do list, it's good to sit and be quiet, because when you're sitting and you're being quiet, that's really when you can hear the most from God. And so on that to-do list, put the things that you have to do, like whatever it is that you like. I got to get that marketing campaign done, and I got to make that phone call, and I get and whatever you have happening, put all those on there, and then just sit. Is there anything else that I need to do? Is there anybody else I need to talk to? Is there anybody that I need to check in with? Is there a place that I need to go that maybe it wasn't on my radar of all the things that I have to do? And those are the things I make sure that I get done, because I feel like, okay, that wasn't from me, and I'm partnering with God, and God wanted me to pick up the phone and give somebody a call. Like if your business partner said, hey, could you call that supplier because we need to find out blah, 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 blah. You wouldn't be like, yeah, I'll get to it whenever I get to it. You'd be like, oh yeah, I'll call. Right? So,
Right.
excuse me. So there's that. There's a section for your meetings, if you've got any meetings, a section for any notes. And then there's kind of like a blank section that I left open for divine inspiration, that some people hear and think in pictures. So if you do doodles or mind maps or anything, it's ready for that. And then the second section of the book is more divine inspiration. And the facing pages, one page is blank and the other page has lines on it. Again, however you like to think, and if you're a doodler or a drawer and that's how you get your information, or you want to use the lines. So, and that's for if you've got a little bit more time. If you're, if you really want to kind of sit and explore something, I have found that sitting in quiet with a pen and the journal really can help you explore something. If you're dealing with a challenge, then you're trying to figure it out. If you're if you're struggling with anything at all, cash flow isn't where you need it to be, or whatever it happens to be, just write about it in prayer, in your meeting, and you may realize that an answer will come through you.
And it's so important. And so many times we're looking externally, we're looking like, what do I need to do next? What do I need to do next? What do I need to do next? And I really think, and so many of us are looking for coaches and mentors, but the really good coaches and mentors help us find the answers within. And utilizing a tool like this, like the journal that you created, your book, is a tool to really help us look within to say, okay, we already know the answers. We just really have to get in tune with them and then get over the roadblocks that are preventing us from taking action on those things.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. For me, it's just about allowing the Holy Spirit to come through and just get rid of all of the mind junk and say, what is it that you want me to do? I'm willing to do it. And just that willingness to do and surrender your life to God's plan for your life, because God can dream a bigger dream than you could ever even imagine for yourself. So, surrendering and being willing to step into that, amazing things can happen in your life.
I agree. And it's so exciting. And I started writing in mine. I'm like, oh, I love this. And I think I posted some pictures when I first got mine from Amazon. And I was like setting the tone for the meeting with my glass of kombucha and flowers and my fireplace. And
you did. I was like, oh, it's so pretty. My book looks awesome. It's like a marketing campaign from a book right there. I loved it.
Right. It just became a special time. So, you are somebody who is probably a lot like our childcare owners on many levels, is that you've got a lot of creative ideas flowing in. All of your 4 books, and you're always, there's another ebook coming out, there's another checklist coming out, there's always something, and you're like, boom, 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 boom. So many of our owners and directors sit in a place of overwhelm. So, and this may or may not have to do with the book. If it does, fantastic. If not, it'll be another great aha that you guys can list. So maybe you'll be the winner of the book. But so often we've got all these ideas flowing in, all these things that we need to do. How is it that you take such fast action and implement all these different ideas, sometimes seeming simultaneously, where so much is getting done? Just so you know.
I compartmentalize very well. So generally my work day, depending on the day, is from 9 until 3. Now we're here, obviously it's not that time, but you may hear water in the background. Like this is usually my time to be making dinner. So like my family's pitching in to make dinner. So sometimes I have to delegate, things at home, just like I delegate at work. I don't have a giant team. I just have a couple of people who do different things for me. And then I will hire people to do various projects and things like that. I'll find people on Fiverr or whatever. And I generally am not someone who is going to take a ton of time to overanalyze or overthink things. When something, whether I get an idea for something or somebody approaches me about something, and I feel that this is the right thing for me to do, again, through my daily business meeting with God, like, yep, this is something I feel like I need to do. God clears the way to make it happen. And I, like I said, I just compartmentalize, like, here's my to-do list. Here's the things that have to happen today. And it doesn't mean that every day is perfect and everything goes well every time. But I know that between those hours, I'm dedicating to work. And then if I can't, for whatever reason, dedicate those hours, sometimes I make them up. Sometimes I don't, because I purposely, like I need to get my nails did because I'm looking at them. They're like, oh, they're grown out a lot. Like I might do that in the middle of a day just because I can, and it's, and it's easy, and, gives me some time to get away. So maybe I'll end up having to work in an evening here or there because, well, there's a webinar coming up and I got to get the slides done for the webinar. So I can do them now while, I'm hanging out on the couch watching TV or not, whatever. So, I set specific, kind of like we talked about earlier, like I have a routine that I follow and I have specific ways that I get things done. And generally, once I create a system for something, I follow the system. So, when I'm doing something that's different or something that's new, yeah, it takes me a little longer because I have to figure it out as I'm going. But I'm constantly strategizing. How can I create this new thing and the new steps? How can they become a system so that when I ever need to do this again, I can either hand it off or I don't have to think about it again. I just do it. So one of the things you mentioned that I put out are checklists. And I do a lot of checklists for speakers and things like that. Well, every time I get an idea for a checklist, I don't go like, oh, how am I going to design this thing? And what's it going to look like? Nope. I just go to the checklist that I have. I delete the words that are out of that one and I put new words in and save it as. So I'm not like, reinventing the wheel every single time, I come up with an idea. And the same with like a sales page. I do a lot of people buy my digital products online, which I know is different than some of your people. But, how I sell stuff, like, if it works, I'll buy templates and I'll use a template myself. I will, and then if that template worked and people liked it and it was easy for me to use, guess what? I'll keep using that same template over and over and over again because it just makes it easy for me. I know where to change things then. And I know it becomes very easy to implement once you've got templates, systems in place and you follow them all along, and then just compartmentalize your day so that for me, when I'm driving the kids around where they need to go, that's what I'm doing. When I go to the gym, that's what I'm doing. When when I'm working, then that's what I'm doing. And I avoid time wasters because if I want to get stuff done in the time that I have to get it done, I know I can't spend 45 minutes flipping through Facebook.
Right.
I will check because I use Facebook a lot for my work. And so
Right.
I'll check the notifications and be like, what do I need to respond to or not? But I mean, like when I got home this afternoon from my radio show, I had 71 notifications. I was able to clear those out in about 5 minutes because most of them were like, so-and-so commented on somebody else's post. I don't care. Like, I'm not going to go back and read all those. Like if somebody tags me, mentions me, or comments on my posts, that's where I'll be. And I do it, I get it done. And then, maybe I'll like look through the top 2 or 3 that I happen to see and like and comment on somebody else's. And then I'm out. Like I got other things to do. I got to set up the studio. I got to make sure, I'm ready for my next thing. So
Right.
Kind
So
of.
you are an incredibly driven person, and I agree with you about the systems. You know, even the other day I was thinking about systems. I'm like, all right, I need a system for my laundry and the way that I'm putting clothes away because they end up on one chair and then that becomes like a struggle to deal with. So I'm like, okay, new system in place. So I think systems can be in place for like absolutely everything. And I know our childcare owners and directors are often working on their systems so that they can be more productive. One of the questions that I have, and can everybody grab your book at Amazon?
Yeah,
Your channel?
Amazon.com. And
Amazon?
anywhere books are sold. I mean, like you could go to they probably won't have it in your bookstore, but they can order it if they want to do that. Your library, well, you wouldn't do a journal out of a library, but anyway, yeah. Anywhere books are sold, you can buy it.
Okay, awesome. So everybody, make sure you go and grab Felicia's book. And Felicia, was there a time when you're writing in your journal and you're writing some things down, you're listening to your divine inspiration or what God's telling you to do, and is there a point where you meet resistance and you're like, really? That's the top action that you want me to take for today, whether it's getting your nails done, going to the gym, or whipping out another book. And you're thinking in terms of resistance to that thing. Have you ever had that happen? And if so, how did you propel yourself out of that? And everybody who's tuning in, remember the most ahas that are posted are going to get a free signed copy of Daily Business Meeting with God. So make sure that you're commenting in our section. So have you ever had that happen?
Yeah, I have that inner child, the one who goes, I don't wanna.
Right.
And sometimes I don't. But generally, what I'll do is if I'm really like beaten up against something where it's like, I don't want to do that thing, I will take a momentary break because I work in my home. So I'll go do something related to my home. Like I have my bird feeders in the back. So I'll check the bird feeders, or I'll let the dog out, or I'll run up and throw a load of laundry in or move it to the dryer or whatever. Like I'll disengage from that thing where I'm churning and kind of beating myself up for not doing it and like resisting, like, I don't want to do that right now. So I go and do that. And then I come back and I sit down and then I look at like, is this something that has to be done right now? And if it has to be done right now, then I do it. And if not, what else is more urgent that I have to do? So, and if I bump the thing down, but generally, I work like a lot of people do well under a deadline. And so I impose deadlines on myself that are not deadlines that are a lot of people make the mistake of making a deadline and then not involving anybody else. And so they miss that appointment with themselves. My husband's a personal trainer, so I use a lot of examples from the gym. Like people will say, oh, I'm going to put going into the gym on my calendar. But if it's just them by themselves, it's really easy to go, I'm not going to do that now. Right. But if they've got a personal trainer that they're going to meet, or you're going to meet your best friend after work. And I mean, this was how I used to go to the gym long before I met my husband. I had a girlfriend, and this was long before you could text anybody, and even before most people had cell phones. And so we just knew we were going to meet at the gym at 5:00. Well, I had no way to get a hold of her at all during the workday. She was a teacher. I couldn't email her during the day. So I was like, even if I didn't feel like it, I was like, well, dang, I made this appointment. Like, she would be wondering where I was. So I guess I'm going to the stupid gym. Like, but because I had that accountability from a person who I knew was counting on me. And so that's something that I really try to implement in my business, where I'm working with a client. Listen, I'll help you get this done. Or, I also do publishing. I'm publishing a book right now. I've got 14 authors who are waiting on me to get them their chapters edited so that they can approve them so that we can move forward. I've got a graphic design team who's waiting to put together the launch website. It's like there's
Awesome.
a lot of people who are waiting for stuff, and I do that purposely so that I can't be like, I don't want to, and then just never do it. Like, I purposely involve other people in the things that I'm doing because that's how things get done. And so that's another tip, I guess, that, involve your staff, involve, the parents, involve, like let people know, hey, we're doing this thing, and make it public. Once you make something public, if you don't do it, you kind of lose credibility. And I have a whole speech that I deliver called Credibility and Cash Flow. So I'm kind of big on credibility and not losing it.
And I agree with you. It's so important to be accountable to other people and have other people. And Jana does this brilliantly too, where she's putting things on my calendar if, she knows it's something that needs to get done and I'm not taking enough action on it. So yeah, I think that's critically important. So, and I think I have to talk to you about my next books then with all that you do.
Yeah.
We've got some more in the
Happy to talk
works.
to you. Yeah, good. I can't wait to hear about it.
So, what do you think is the most important section of your journal? Which is the one that you are like, wow, this is just the most amazing piece that I put in here? And like Felicia said, her book is a journal. So every single day you come here and have your daily business meeting. You could get yourself quiet, gain clarity, and then get your to-do list in place that's really divinely given to you, as opposed to all this craziness that you're dealing with in your head. So it really comes from a place of, here's what you do that's going to get you the biggest result, coming from God. So which is your favorite section?
I think the gratitude section is probably my favorite, because when you're feeling grateful and you're writing what you're grateful for, it's very difficult to be unhappy or feeling a lack when you're looking specifically for something to be grateful for. And for me in my life, when I want more of something, I look for what am I grateful for around whatever that is. So, for the three big ones are money, health, and relationships, right? So let's just say that, I want a better relationship with my husband. Well, then I will purposely, in my gratitude section, write things that I am grateful for about my husband. And it's really hard to be mad at him when I'm trying to come up with things that I'm grateful for about him, for example. And specifically in the daily business meeting with God, that's about my business. So what am I grateful for about my business? Maybe a website didn't do what it was supposed to do, or something crashed, or, like stuff happens, right? In everybody's business, there's bad things that don't go wrong, bad things that don't go. Anyway, stuff doesn't go right. And, and it's like, am I going to focus on the bad things, or am I going to focus on, well, all right, that part didn't work, but this worked. I'm grateful that worked. I'm great. Like, but before I got on here, I was like, I use Be Live. I know how to use it. I know you got to use Chrome. I have my mic set up. I got my camera set up. I'm on my laptop, good to go, ready. And it's like, I can't even get into the green room. Can't even get into what is up with that?
Right.
And so, all right, I was not grateful for that. But you know what I am grateful for? My iPhone. I'm grateful for that. And I'm grateful for the app that allowed me to be able to use the phone so that I can be talking to you today. I'm grateful that I have these little earbuds so that I can hear you and speak into it. And there's like a little, better of a microphone than the one through here. I'm grateful that Apple had the little dongle thing, because I had, these are the last edition iPhone headphones. And so the little thing that attaches so that the old ones can plug into the new phone. Like, I'm grateful for that. Like, I could go through the things that I am grateful. I'm grateful that I thought that I didn't wait until the last second to set up my lights, because otherwise you'd be looking at me in a dark room. That wouldn't be good. So I'm grateful that I did that and set it all up in advance. Like, I could go down the list of that. Or I could be like, why does this computer not work? It's so stupid. Technology is such fails every time. Like, I could get caught up in that. Or I could be like, hey, I'm grateful that you invited me to be here. I'm grateful that I got back away, from downtown, from my radio show to my studio here in the home, so that, we could be here and do this on time. Like, so many things just about this one little thing. So I've trained my brain to look for what I'm grateful for about my work, about my business, and more good stuff just comes.
And I really think it's a muscle that you exercise. And the more you exercise that gratitude muscle, the easier it is to start flipping the switch, as my clients call it, and just going through your gratitude list. So I encourage everybody to grab a copy of Daily Business Meeting with God and work on your gratitude, build that muscle, and maybe that will become your favorite section in the journal as well. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to have Loretta join us in the lobby, or in the studio, I should say, pull her up from the green room. And Loretta, if there's any questions that people have had for us, we could go through those, or any comments that you'd like to share. And maybe I'll have to put on my glasses so I can read some too and pull some up on the screen. All right, you ready to join us, Loretta? All right, awesome. I don't know which one I'm bringing you up on here. Here, I'll add this one. I've got Loretta on 2 different screens below. She wanted to make sure she was here. Hey, Loretta.
Hello. Okay,
Hello.
hopefully this is the right computer.
I can see you and I can hear you.
So Loretta is our Chief of Happiness here at Childcare Business Success, and you will see her in our Childcare Business Success group, and she's also in our mentorship groups, cheering everybody on. So Loretta is just an absolute gem to have as part of my team. So Loretta, again, I'm incredibly thankful for you being here. So are there any burning questions anybody has? Any really good ahas that are being shared?
There are tons of ahas, and this is where I'm on 2 different screens. My apologies. Not too many questions. Felicia, you rock. Just FYI, if you ever had any doubts, we're having a wonderful time. We have gratitude. I had to go back and post. I really thought the chair was a legitimate laundry just place. That's just me, but oops for me. But we had a lot of really great comments focusing on the good, that we're in this all together, we're not alone, being accountable. If we fight things, that's God. He's going to step in there and nudge us in the right direction. Working under deadlines. So tons of really awesome comments. I love the engagement. It's fun to read them as they pop up.
Perfect. Well, let me show some up here. So I don't know, Loretta, you had made a comment here, but I guess you're not talking to me. I'm not sure what you mean by that. So if you want to clarify, please leave that in the comments. Amy Fish, I'm going to show Amy up here. She says, gratitude is so awesome. Keeps you in the positive state of mind. All right. And
Absolutely, Amy, you're right.
yes. Oh, Donna, my manager, says gratitude. Yep. Here's Loretta, says, I'm grateful to be here tonight. Awesome. Loretta, we're here, grateful that you're here as well. Stephanie, another one of my team members. Stephanie, you'll get more of what you focus on. Focus on gratitude. Mm-hmm. Absolutely. Let's see. This is just because everybody likes to see their name, up in bright.
Oh, it's always fun to do that.
Your name in lights.
The name in lights. Okay, so Amy says, here's one from Amy. She says, I love systems. How did you start creating and implementing systems? So Amy always asks about systems because I know she's one of our multi-site owners and she's always wanting to know how. And we've talked about this quite a bit, but Felicia, do you have anything to add about systems in terms of how you got started with yours?
Yeah, so I am someone who just does things. Like, this has to happen. I'm going to do it. And as I do it, I think through what's the best way to take, I'm very much in the moment, and I'm going to take the next step. So what's the next best step for me to take for this thing? And then I will document, I'll write it down. Now, it's not the most organized of writing down. I mean, it's not within arm's reach, but I just have a notebook that I keep, and I keep my business meeting with God journal open. So those 2 things are open and generally within arm's reach. Again, I was in a rush, so I'm not in my normal spot. So anyway, I'll just start writing notes for myself, and I'll just say and I'll circle things and I'll put down details so that then when I need to go back and do that again, I just flip back in my notebook and I go, this is how I did it last time. And I'll just follow through what I did last time. And I will evaluate as I'm looking through, because I'll remember I did do that way, but I should have probably done the other thing first and then did this. So I'll adjust. And then I get to a point where it's okay, I got it now. This worked, the 3rd time. Generally by the 3rd time, I'm like, this worked. And I'm going to keep going that way. And I will continue using that same system for years, unless I am presented with a ridiculously compelling reason to stop. So one example is, I do a lot of webinars for my business, and I use Instant Teleseminar, which back in the day was this really cool, unique tool. And it was called Instant Teleseminar because it was developed before there were even webinars. And they were a little slow to get on the webinar bandwagon. And then you could show slides. And so then there's different things that over the years you could do. And by the end of this year, they're going to be able to do everything that every other webinar program, can do. And over the years, people have said, why are you still using that dinosaur? Because it works. And I don't need all the fancy other stuff. Like,
Right.
I am happy to use something that works the way that I need it to work in an efficient manner so that I can continue to be efficient. Because when I need to change something, it's like, now there's a whole giant another learning curve. So that's one of the mistakes that a lot of people make, is when they're always trying to find something better, they're constantly changing system, changing. It's like, that is a ridiculous waste of time. When you have something that really works, stick with it until you're given a compelling reason or multiple compelling reasons to change. And for me, it's benefiting me that I stayed with Instant Teleseminar all these years, because they house all of my years worth of recordings that I don't have to download and figure out what I'm going to do with that. Like, they're just there happily waiting for me to repurpose and do other things with. I have, and my people know where to go. They're accustomed to it. Like, why would I change all that? And I'm going to be rewarded because they're upgrading their own systems there, and I already know how to use their interface. So to me, it's like, that's just a win-win. So find something that works, figure out how it works, and then stick with it.
Absolutely. That's fantastic strategy. I use Instant Teleseminar too, and it's like, there's like years, just years of stuff on there. So, all right, cool. Well, Loretta, I'm going to put you back down so you and Jonna can talk about who our prize winners are. And then I'll bring you back up after I say bye to Felicia. But thanks for joining us here. And I'm going to lower you back down. And then I look forward to hearing. So we've got brownies, we've got a video giveaway, and then we've got Felicia's book, Daily
That's
Business
a lot of
Meeting
good stuff for giving away.
A lot of stuff we're giving. Yeah. All right. All right. Well, this has been a great conversation, and I think a lot of people are getting some good information. Let me ask you, Felicia, just in your business life, I always preach about faith and the importance of having faith, because otherwise our vision can be collapsed. It can be compromised. And I know you've redesigned yourself like all entrepreneurs do. You go through different phases of your business and you bring different visions to life. What do you think has been the most important thing to you that has helped you reestablish your vision and pour really an immense amount of faith in bringing that thing to life? So is there one thing that pops out for you that maybe when it was time where you were reinventing your vision or rejuvenating it or bringing it to life, where you said, you know what, I really need to bring the faith component in here and need to really let it expand and be the wind beneath this vision's wings, so to speak?
Mm-hmm. Well, it's been an evolutionary process for me. I know you know this, but your viewers don't. In 2012, I was diagnosed with lung cancer, and I am totally cured as a result of a miracle that came about. So that was something. I had surgery in October. I didn't need to have any kind of chemo, any kind of radiation, and by January, even though they removed part of my lung, I was able to be speaking on stage again. So true miracle all the way around. So that was something, and I started to share that miracle story. And that was when I became more intentional about sharing my faith. And again, I've never been shy about it. I always have posted things like, oh, my family and I are going to church today, or, my daughter got her first communion, or, I remember sending out all those pictures. I mean, they're 13 and 16 now. So, it's just over the years, I've always never been shy, but I became more intentional after that point. And then when we moved here to Knoxville in 2015, we, of course, had to go to a different church because we were still in the Chicago area anymore. And doing that, we, there were more classes available to me. And so I intentionally started going to more classes, and I learned about charisms and what that meant, and basically my gifts, and really started to investigate those on a deeper level, and how can I really use and share my gifts to benefit more people. And then, became more active in my church community. And then last fall was in a place where I don't know that I would call it a transition, because I'm still doing the same kind of work that I've always done. But it was just, it was it was a turning point, I would say, in really delivering my business over to God, and surrendering is a better word. And just saying, you know what, you just tell me what you want me to do and I'll just do it. And since then, I mean, all kinds of opportunities have opened up to me. I did not know, I did not say, oh, I'm going to publish a book called How Did You Get Started, based on my Kill the Elevator speech book. But it's happened, and I've got 14 authors that are in this book now, and I'm publishing this book at the end of, are we in April yet, or August? No, at the end of August.
So sounds like me.
I got like, where are we?
What day or month is it? Yes.
Right. I got invited to host not one, but 2 live radio shows here in Knoxville. So like, I had no idea that was going to come. I became a member of this amazing networking organization, and very quickly became a leader in the organization. And so, I'll be sharing more information about that, actually. So if you're not friends or following me on Facebook, make sure you are, because I'll be sharing more about that, because there's they've got 43 places, 43 chapters around the U.S., and they are looking to expand. They want 500 by this fall. So it's awesome. Anyway, so I got to be part of that organization. I mean, like, all of these things just keep coming and coming. I keep getting invited to speak, and as a professional speaker, that's a good thing. So it's just like, I'm now I'm turning one of the radio shows into a podcast, and that was something I never would have imagined doing. But just because I'm open to the possibilities and willing to say yes to what is right and step into that and just allow it to happen, all of those things have as I said, been an evolution for me.
Awesome. Great stuff. Is there anything else that you would like our listeners to know about you, or our viewers to know about you? I know I said that you were a speaker in 22 countries. You've got 4 books, and I would love it if you would come back and talk to our group about speaking and using that as a platform to really excel their businesses. So I hope you'll join us again on a future episode of the Childcare Business Success Show.
I would love to.
Awesome.
And for anybody who is interested in maybe getting started with speaking, to market your business, you can go to howtogetstartedspeaking.com. That's howtogetstartedspeaking.com, and download some free information there, and that'll kind of set you on the path.
Awesome. Fantastic. And get your book on Amazon or whatever bookstore, Daily Business Meetings with God. And it's been an awesome journal to have as part of my routine. And I've been a little lapsed with it the past couple of weeks, but I think I want to pick it back up. And it was weird because I was like, oh, where did I put Felicia's book? And it was just like the exact spot. It was like, came right to me. It's like, oh, it's on the bookcase over here. I'm like, okay,
yeah,
this is a sign I need to pick that journal up again.
Yeah, for sure. Julie, thanks so much for having me.
Felicia, thank you so much, and thank your family for giving you up for this period of time. I so appreciate it. And it's been just an absolute pleasure knowing you for all of these years. And I've truly been inspired by your energy, by your enthusiasm, and your implementation. I mean, it is just so inspiring to watch you in action. And I always look forward to the next thing that you're going to roll out and do, because it's done with so much energy and positivity that can't wait to be on board with whatever it is that you roll out. So
you're so sweet. Well, thank you.
Thank you. All right, Felicia Slattery, make sure you get her book. Thank you so much for being here. All right, I'm going to put Felicia back down. Thank you so much. Woo! Did you guys benefit from that interview? I hope you did. Make sure you write your ahas. It's still not too late. And it's also great for you to come back so that you can benefit from those, reviewing them later on. And our folks will benefit from those also. So I'm going to bring Loretta back up. Oh, and also, well, before I bring Loretta up, make sure too that if you are struggling with staff on any level, we are having an event October 7th and 8th in the Boston, Massachusetts area. And right now we have tickets for a crazy low price of $127. So I encourage you to grab that. If John is still on, she'll post the link for you. But to grab your tickets, tomorrow's the last day. After tomorrow, the tickets do go up. So tomorrow's the last day to get your VIP ticket, which means we feed you yummy hot food during the 2 days that you'll be with me. Loretta, our Chief of Happiness, will be there. And we really want to help you formulate your plan of action for managing, motivating, and retaining great staff. So it's everything from attracting staff to firing staff and creating a boatload of engagement in between. So I encourage you to go to the link that we're going to be posting for you. And I'm not sure if John is still on to do that, but if not, we'll get that posted for you after the show wraps up. Let me see here. I'm looking to see. Okay. All right. Well, let's have Loretta back on. So make sure you join us. 7th and 8th, Boston, Massachusetts. All right, Loretta, do we have some winners to announce?
We have winners.
Awesome. Awesome. So let me hear it. Who's our winners? I'll just let you tell me when to do the drum roll, and I'll let you announce them.
So should we start with the brownies and work our way up?
Yes, let's start with brownies. Okay. I think so.
Well, chocolate's always a good place to start. We had some competition tonight, some really healthy competition, but
I see we've got like over 100 comments, so fantastic, everyone.
Are you ready for your drum roll? The winner of brownies this week is Amy Fish.
Woohoo, Amy, you get brownies, darling.
I know
she'll enjoy them.
I know. Now hide them, Amy. You can't let people steal your brownies this time. They're yours and yours alone.
That's right, because people will totally steal.
They will.
Especially kiddos. They will take your brownies.
That's true. And then
all right, fantastic. All right, and then what else do we have?
They sneak in there and try to get them.
Right.
All right.
They are the world's yummiest brownies, so.
They are. They really are. Now, should we do video or book?
Let's do book.
Book. All right. So, drum roll. All right. The winner of the book, which is called Daily Business Meetings with God. It's a journal that's going to keep you going and inspire your life in ways you don't even know, is Loretta Watson-Sowers. See?
Woohoo, Loretta. Awesome job, Loretta.
Yeah.
And I saw your comment. She was thinking I was pulling her into the lobby. What was that, Loretta? I was talking over you.
No, I just feel very proud of her because I know she was like, oh, wait, I'm going to be on? Wait, I don't know. It's true. It's you. You win.
Very cool. Yeah, and I encourage all of our viewers, tell your friends about the show, and also come and join us in the group if you're not part of the group yet, and make sure you come and join us in Boston if I haven't said that already, because
right.
It'll be amazing.
The last prize of the day is the marketing video. The person who engaged the most throughout the past week, not just today, throughout the past week, is Deirdre Nordell.
Woohoo, Deirdre.
Yes. Woo. You know, I'm excited for her. I know she can use this, and I just can't wait to see it once it's finished.
Absolutely. How exciting. All right. So to claim your prizes, Jonna does have a prize claim form for you. So I'm not sure what our process is on that, Jonna. So maybe you can let everybody know what the process is. I forgot if they're supposed to contact you or if you're posting the link here. But if you, Jonna will be in touch either way to let you know. To claim those prizes so that we have your addresses and Loretta doesn't have to beg everybody for their information so that we can get your prizes off to you. All right, Loretta. Well, I think this was a really good show.
Amen. Preach it, sister.
And I hope the echoing has gone down, and I'm going to get those earbuds, and I'm going to see also how our reception was because I couldn't plug in directly to my internet. This is just some technical information that nobody needs to know.
Behind the scenes.
But we're always trying to improve the show and improve the quality. So we're trying some different, technical things. Sometimes they work, sometimes they backfire, but we're going to be making improvements with every single show. So I hope you'll tell your friends and really revel in the content that we're providing you. And please do visit Felicia at her website. I think Jonna probably posted that for you, but otherwise grab her book on Amazon. She was very gracious to give us a signed copy of that tonight. And I think it's a fantastic book to go and grab and just to use, and mine is halfway filled out, and it's just been a lot of fun writing in it. So, and it's interesting to see where the inspiration comes from. So what do you think, Loretta? Is that going to be a concept that you try?
The journaling in the book? Yeah, I love that. I will admit I am a really bad journaler. I have that mental note thing going, and I get a book and it's gets the first page filled out and then it stays blank for the rest of its life. But I love the idea of daily business meetings with God. I mean, it's something that I think I practice anyway, maybe not specifically this way. So I would be interested to see the specifics of this book and the process here. And it's something that I would implement with my team and share with my church family as well, because we're always looking for ways to deepen our relationships.
Awesome. Awesome. Great. Well, I think we're going to wrap up the show. Thank you everyone for being here. And you know where to find us in between the next show. And we'll let you know if there's a time change. I'll be talking about that with my team and see what the general consensus is for that. But make sure you let everybody know. And thank you for being here. And if you've got any comments or questions from me or Loretta or Felicia, please list those in the comments, even if you're tuning into the replay. And I'll make sure that we come back and address those for you. All right. Anything else we have to say, Loretta, or did I get it all?
I think you did a fabulous job. I think that's probably it.
All right, everyone. Thank you so much for being here. I'm Julie Bartkus, and joining me is my Chief of Happiness, Loretta Chalk. And it's been a pleasure being here with you. And if you don't yet have the Chalker Business Success book, we just reached our year anniversary of it being a bestseller. So we're going to have some special news around that, too. I think we're going to do a little celebrating. So until next time, everyone, thank you so much for tuning in, and I will see you very soon. Bye.